Teachers and lecturers unions have called on the government to increase the current budgetary allocation to education, saying low budgetary provisions and late disbursement continue to hurt the deliveries of services at learning institutions. The unions representing the teaching fraternity from the lowest level of early childhood into basic education and higher education institutions say the government ought to review its policies to get rid of what they term as commercialisation and privatization of education. Let's get more from our very own Sam Gituki.
In the current financial year, 628 billion shillings was set aside for the education sector, representing just over 17% of the total budget. Teachers unions NAT, KUPPET and the University Academic Staff Union say that is not enough and should be increased to at least 30% for the current budget. That would mean over 1 trillion shillings going into the sector.
The government should spend at least 30% from the current 20% of the national budget, or at least 10% from the current 6% of the GDP on education.
The Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms in its report proposed marginal increases to the capitation for primary and secondary schools that the teaching fraternity finds too low. The Kenya National Union of Teachers is proposing to increase capitation for primary school learners from 1,170 shillings to at least 5,000 shillings per learner. For junior secondary schools, learners that are set to receive 15,000, NAT wants that increased to 22,000 shillings every year. And for senior secondary learners, NAT proposes their capitation to be increased to 35,000 shillings annually. At the university education level, the union leaders took issue with government's move to implement the new funding model. They say that even though the model is meant to respond to differences of social status of learners and their families, it has been rolled out prematurely.
Why couldn't we wait until all the procedures involved in the present model are undertaken before we leave students to go to the what? To the universities. Whose food are they eating? Those ones who are. Where are they sleeping? Because some universities you can't get in before you pay everything.
And don't make a mistake of paying my members late because the government has not funded you. That one Wasonga will not accept. The way you accepted to accept those students without money, you knew where you are going to get our salary. But if you don't have our salary, send them home.
The Higher Education Loans Board closed the window for applications for loans and scholarships on the 7th of October. In a statement early this month, HELB CEO Charles Ringera indicated that processing of the applications would begin immediately, with disbursement of funds to universities and the students expected shortly.
Delays in funding disbursement have led to low participation rates, students' inability to pay for personal expenses, delays in registering for courses, and students' inability to attend classes on time.
Early childhood teachers represented at the conference called for the adoption of all ECD teachers by the Teacher Service Commission for standardization of employment terms and to rid them from favoritism and discrimination experienced at the counties. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, Gituks, thanks so much for that. Now